What's good, Jill? And welcome back to Anime Reviews that isn't Dragon Ball Super or DBZ Kai the Final Chapter. Yeah, had this going on for what, about 3 months now? Since, I took a break in the fall, since there was nothing really that interests me that I wanted to review. I mean, Black Clover, I was not interested enough to review it, and Food Wars just didn't air on, it was aired on a weekday, which that's why I didn't review that season. But yeah, and I'm still playing Cat and Bubba. I love him. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this before in previous videos, or at least on my Twitter, maybe or maybe not. But I'm actually really loving Black Clover. The dub, fantastic job from Funimation. I'm really digging the dub that they gave for Black Clover. Three episodes have aired on Toonami. Great shit. Yeah, and Food Wars Season 3, also great shit. I haven't gotten caught up yet. I've actually been, that's following me on Twitter and Instagram, and I've mentioned this before in my other videos. I'm currently, going through anime on Hulu, since, my dad got did a free trial of Hulu, so yeah. Getting into all anime, and I also just got Assassin's Creed Origins. My copy just came in, so I'm going to be playing the hell out of that later, around like the end of the month. And will my iPad stop blowing up with Twitter notifications? Seriously, I'm not that popular. Hold on, let me just turn that so you don't guys hear that annoying dinging. You don't. Okay, silent. There we go. So, yeah. And by the way, speaking of Dragon Ball Super and DBZ Kai, you guys may have noticed that you haven't seen DBZ Kai reviews or Super reviews for the past 2 weeks, and that's because these past 2 weeks, Toonami. And I mentioned this once, one of the marathons a while ago. Toonami's actually been doing marathons these past 2 weeks. 2 weeks ago, it was Cowboy Bebop, which I used as the opportunity to get caught up because I was really slack on Cowboy Bebop. By the way, fucking love Cowboy Bebop. That definitely has a spot in my top 10 favorite animes of all time. But definitely around like the lower tier, not but episode 5. Oh, and that dub is lit. Anyway, then the week after that, then they had Dragon Ball Super. They were just going through, the tournament arc, the Universe 6 tournament arc. So that's why you haven't seen reviews these past couple weeks. I meant to mention this in previous video, but I just never got around to doing it. So yeah, and also expect an unboxing of the Assassin's Creed Origins Gold Edition. I just got it in. I think I'm repeating myself now, but yeah, I got it. It's chilling on my shelf. So I'll get started. So I'll unbox that after I'm done. So yeah, guys. And oh yeah, and one more announcement I want to make. Actually, guys, I have decided that when DBZ Kai the Final Chapters finishes airing on Toonami, I will be reviewing JoJo. So you can expect JoJo reviews after DBZ Kai the Final Chapters. So you'll be seeing reviews of Stardust Crusaders and Time is Up Rainbow and all future parts of JoJo. I will be reviewing on Toonami dub. I won't be watching them subbed. So yeah, stay tuned for those later. So yeah, enough jibba jabba and announcement. Let's get on to my review of the first episode of the Junji Ito collection. What has been widely regarded as one of the greatest greatest horror mangaka in the game right now. And the first episode was weirdly comedic. Like, I'm like, should I be laughing this much? Was this like, because this collection is based on a bunch of short stories from Junji Ito. I'm not sure if Gyo or Uzumaki is going to be in this. It's probably not. Those are probably going to be separate animes themselves. And I hope that they actually do adapt the, because I've read one of Junji Ito's short stories. It was the one where there has like these perfectly sized holes for humans, and you go into them, and then and then you slowly sink into them. Like, that short story. I forget what it was called, but I've read that short story. And after reading that and hearing so much about Junji Ito's artwork for Uzumaki, I was like, am I supposed to be laughing this much? Because this feels like, it's almost like Studio Dean to almost just, like, fuck, let's add some dark humor in here, because I was weirdly laughing. I'm like, should I be laughing? Was this like in the short story this is based off of? Like, does Junji Ito, like, have put some sense of humor in these, or am I just seeing things? Or is just Studio Dean's changing up the source material? Anyway, with enough jibber jabber, and also one more announcement I want to make, guys. Since the show's airing on Friday, and I believe I'm starting school next week, these reviews will probably come out a lot later. So these reviews will probably see them coming out around maybe 4 or 5 o'clock, depending on where my schedule is at. So yeah. Yeah, and also one more announcement, guys. One more announcement. I know I've done which announcements. You guys just want to hear me talk about this episode, which I will get to that in a second. It's actually just been announced that the spin-off anime for SAO, the GGO one, has been announced that it's going to be airing during spring of 2017. So I will be airing. So it's 3 series confirmed that I'll be reviewing next season. My Hero Academia season 3, Tokyo Ghoul Re, and this. Persona 5 still up in the air because we don't know release date for that. So enough jibber jabber announcements and stalling. Let's get to this fucking review. So, like I said, this episode was weirdly comedic. But let's talk about it. Let's start it off. So this episode starts off right with that horror attitude. We have the crescent moon in the background. We go through a forest. We hear a hammer going into nails. It sounds like bells ringing, and we see that we have this kid with candles strapped to his head. By the way, I really dig Junji Ito's art style. It looks great. I love the art style of the show. It definitely looks like Junji Ito's art style. He has two candles strapped to his head, nails in his mouth, and it's just and has this voodoo doll, and he's just hammering it. And we get back to this other kid's like, oh, my gut hurts. He's like, you're going to experience it real harder. Which, by the way, I love this dude's Japanese voice actor. Like, he's so great. He suits the character perfectly. I'm very curious how Funimation's gonna dub this because Funimation does license here, so I'm curious on when the Funimation dubs for them. When I see it, I'll tell you guys about it whenever episode review that comes out. So he's just talking about, like, you'll experience true horror, and, he's just hammering it and hammering it and hammering it. So then the OP plays, which, by the way, the OP is pretty good. Not really what I expected from a series from JoJo's, but a lot more, maybe, I don't know, more ominous soundtrack. But the song in the OP itself is pretty good. So then we get to school. Shinpei, I believe his name is Shinichi. I think it was like Shinichi or something. I forget exactly what his name was. He starts having like an intro monologue talking about how he's first just stroking his own dick, saying like, "Oh, I am so powerful because I got voodoo dolls, and I'm so handsome," which he's not. Then these two girls start talking like, "Hey, oh yeah, did you hear about Oya-kun? He's like, he's in the hospital," and it's like, and then she got bro over here. What was his name? Soichi was his name. Soichi turns out then he starts like, Oyaku thought he was hot, so I had to teach him a lesson, the voodoo dolls. And then we see these two kids fighting, they're fighting over whatever. And he's like, I got a new target. And so he goes to this forest, which I believe is the same forest where he, hammers his voodoo dolls. And then he finds this frog or toad or whatever, brings it home, puts it in this box full of water. Can frogs actually breathe underwater? Or can they not? I'm no frog expert, but I'm pretty sure. Can they? I think they can. Anyway, I'm no frog expert. So then, when he's done with that, he then goes to pretty much like the living room area. And we get the living room there. His family's watching TV, and then he's like hiding behind the sliding door. And I don't know if this if he's like breaking the fourth wall with this or not. But then he starts explaining his family members while he's like behind the door. He's like, that is my big brother, Koichi or something like that. I forget exactly his name. I forget these names. She looks and he's talking about he has a penchant for seriousness, and then he fights Big Brother to the point where it's annoying, where it's intolerable, and he talks about his older sister Sayuri, and he's saying she said she has convinced him, poor thing, has convinced that she's a beauty or something. And he's like, there's really nothing much that no more about family. What a dull bunch. And it's like, hey. And then his big brother's talking hey, if you're gonna, what was his name? I can't forget these names. Anyway, and for hey, if you're gonna watch TV, come with us. Otherwise, close the door. So then we get to the surprise. This is when the comedy really starts to come into this episode. Where I was like, am I watching the right anime, or is this like some dark comedy? So, what he does is after he tells me, close the door, he's like, son of a bitch, I will make you pay for your idiocy one day. He's like, huh, what'd you say? He's like, nothing. And then his sister snitches on him, being like, I heard him, he said you're an idiot. He's like, ha, what did you say? Soichi, Jesus Christ, I keep forgetting to say Soichi. So he runs from him for a bit, and then he grabs the toad or the frog he found a while ago. He grabs the frog. And what he does, and then he just starts torturing his sister when they're bringing it close to her, usual shit brothers do to their sisters just to fuck with them. And so we get back to school. And so after that, he like while his brother tells him like, "Hey, dude, stop." He's like, "No, I'm Wotent or something." It's like a word I've never heard of before. And he's like, "Wotent." He's like, he starts getting. He looks it up in the dictionary. It means commonplace. It means like normal or commonplace. Like this episode's surprisingly funny. I'm like, is it supposed to be like this? And so. We get back to the forest. That's where he drops another one of the voodoo dolls. Another kid. This time he buries him in the dirt, only leaving his head out. And then we get back to school, and people are like, "Hey, what happened to this? What happened to him?" And then we get back. Then we get back to the owner. Back to the forest where we find out of the owner of the forest, or the property, I should say. And so. He finds all the voodoo dolls, the one nailed up to the tree, and the one nailed up, and the one buried. Gets him out. The kid wakes up after that, and he's like, and then when we were at school, people were talking about it. He's like, "Oh crap, man! I was hoping how funny it would have been if he woken up in the spring." Yeah, so it was gonna leave him there until spring. So yeah, his plans fail. Then he notices these three kids talking. At the start of this conversation, then he realizes like, yes. He realized, and then he knows that two of the three people are not talking that much, and then leads to the thing that they hate each other from the Kawaii and this other kid. Yes, the kid's name's actually Kawaii. I was like, wait, what? Kawaii? Okay. I'm not Japanese, so so then they're talking. So we realize that Kawaii and this other kid do not like each other. So then after one, so I think it was like Kawaii, or no, I think it was the other kid that left the room. He falls. He's like, "Hey man, you wanna?" So it's like, "Hey man, I know you hate Kawaii, you can curse him, right?" He's like coming in like one of those suspicious guys trying to sell you something in those trench coats. It was hilarious. So after that. After that, we get to back to his place, and this time he has a spider. The spider's freaking out his sister again with the spider. And I found him in his attic, and his brother tells him to stop. He slaps it. It lands on the dude. So he's like, he's like, this guy's scared of it. And the big brother, reels like, "Huh? So it's like you're scared of spiders." He's like, "No, I'm not." And then he chases him with the spiders. Like, "I'm tired of listening to your trivial matters. Be gone!" And but actually, before the spider thing happened, we saw the old man, the owner of the property of the forest. He set up some bear traps because he doesn't want them kids, going on his lawn. And so after that, we get back to school. And this time, Kawaii leaves to go to the bathroom. He starts, I think it was like, he starts working his magic with the voodoo doll. I think he like stabs him like a couple times, or like hits him with like a pin. And he's like, "Hey, teach, I gotta go to the bathroom." So he goes to the bathroom. When he gets there, he's like, "Huh, I'm fine." Then the door's locked. The bathroom door's locked. And he's like, opening. They think he's about to climb out. And then why do I keep forgetting his name? No, whatever. He drops a spider on him. Then a giant spider, and then spits, or I guess slings web on him. He covered in web, and then we get back to reality. It's just toilet paper, and then the kid Shinichi. I think it's like Shinichi. Shunichi. I think his name is Shinichi. Comes up to the other kid they thought hated Kawaii. He's like, "Hey man, I took care of him for you, but don't worry, I don't want no money or some gratitude. I'm just saying I took care of him." Well, he wants gratitude, and then he's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" He's like, "How dare he not show me proper respect or gratitude for what I did?" So then he tries to prank him. Then he calls him, then calls up his house, I guess, and then he holds his nose up to disguise his voice. He's like, "No, you have been chosen to travel the world. Meet me at the park behind your house, behind the school at this right now." And so he gets there. Then actually, Shinichi comes in like this spider suit, where she's actually the spider. They chase him into the forest and gets caught. By one of the bear traps. And that's where we realize that Shinichi, we get some more humor. And I'm like, why is this episode so funny? And so after that, we get back to. We actually find out that that's so then he tells "Hey, get out of there before I don't want to be found out by the landlord." So he leaves, and then he leaves Shinichi all by himself. He tries to get out. The landlord catches him, tells him, "I'm gonna call the cops, get out my lawn. And then his brother shows up telling him, like, hey, I'll go with the cops, don't win, but hey, I'm talking about I'm talking about the bear traps you got. And he's like, you blackmailed. They tells him, just get out of here, which they do. So they get out of here, and that's pretty much the end of that story, because we actually get a second story, is one where we see a lot more of Junji Ito's, art style, what made him, so great as a mangaka, why it's so popular, which, like because like from the screenshots of Uzumaki scene, whew, this man, I mean, he's, and so we get to this other short story. It's like only about like 2 or 3 minutes long, of this family. Their daughter's has been transported into this doll, and so it's a doll, and because it's a doll, and so she can't get out. So after a while we see the body start to like decay, or decay a bit, because I think the doll's made out of wood. And then they say like, no, let's just put her to rest. And then we see it again, and it's like, it pretty much looks like whatever, and it looks like one of the creatures Junji Ito would come up with. It's like, it's creepy as fuck. I'm like, god damn. And that's pretty much where the episode ends. And yeah, the ED was also pretty good as well. So yeah, there was no real preview for this other than the numbers, other than it said next time collection number 41 and 84. I don't know what that means, but if any of you guys have read a lot of Junji Ito work, you probably know what those numbers mean. If you do, please leave it down in the comment section below. I'm very curious what that means. Yeah, so overall, really great episode. It's a great start to the Junji Ito. I'm very much looking forward to seeing the rest of, a bunch of other short stories of Junji Ito. And hopefully, this episode was really committed. It looks like, I feel like that was like the only time we're going to see it. I feel like now we're going to see a lot more of, like, the horror of Junji Ito, what really made him so popular as a horror mangaka. At least, that's at least what I'm getting at from this episode, from, the second short story as well as the ED. And that's what I'm hoping to see, that we see a lot more of, the other shit Junji Ito has come up with the short stories that are more horror-based, not really this comedy stuff, because this wasn't all that scared. Like, I know, there was never any times I was really creeped out or remotely scared at all, but the second one kind of creeped me out, but I'm hoping next time we see more creepiness, or more of the horror shenanigans that made Junji Ito so popular. Yeah, so my final verdict for this episode is a 9 out of 10. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe if you're new. Follow my Twitter if you feel like. Links in the description box below. And as always, come back for more. See you guys next time.